In this world, there are places where magic can happen. Nooks and crannies where dragons or fairies or anything you could imagine is real. These are the secret files of the Fireside Tales. The stories that were too small to become official tales, but also sometimes too minor of incidences, but I thought I'd share them with you. The majority of them are cases where the man in gray caused mischief to the man in black. So many examples of this. One is that he will make a story from the shelf become real in this realm. Uh, the only thing is that those would actually constitute being included in here, so I won't do any of those. But a bigger one is the times when creatures from his realm will come into ours. For instance, in Scotland, a group of tourists spotted a dragon wandering around the plains. Snapped a few pictures, too. They had to be erased, of course. There was a group of school children in Japan who saw some fairies playing out in the garden. And then in Gettysburg, there was North and South soldiers fighting each other as ghosts. And this one was not covered up. This one is actually out there if you go looking for it. One of the biggest ones, though, was two giants who came into New York City and fought each other, and the man in black had a hell of a time covering this up. He had to erase thousands of memories, and he doesn't often erase memories. He only does it when it's necessary, and for some reason it's usually not necessary. Usually only a few people have these things happen to them. Then, of course, there is the times when people would just land in the realm of nothingness or the chaotic region or an alien planet. Um, and those are some of the big ones. Now I'm going to move into the more minor incidences that couldn't be included in the Fireside Tales. Well, one example is a tree having a leaf fall from it, and the leaf was going down, and it disappeared right in midair. And then there was this penny that always landed on head. In a school, I think in Kansas, this a boy walked in and he sat down at his desk, and the teacher didn't recognize him, and she went up and told him that she thought he was in the wrong classroom, and did he know where he was? And he looked at her for a second and said, "Oops, I'm not supposed to exist," and disappeared. Uh, there's this scary face that will appear in different places and then disappear. No one knows why it's coming, but I will say it doesn't cause any damage. Nobody gets hurt from it. It's just a scary face. There's this pink elephant that keeps popping up in random places. Again, nobody knows where it's coming from. There's a story of a little girl who found a genie's bottle, and the genie granted wishes for her until the man in black had to step in because too many people were figuring out what she was doing, and her memory was erased, of course. Although I think the genie did a few nice things for her secretly. And then we move in to the big ones, the stories that I could tell at the Fireside Tales, but haven't really felt like it. There are the things that watch you while you sleep, monsters that appear in people's bedrooms, just stand there and stare at you, don't do anything. Although sometimes if you wake up, they might attack. Not often, though, only 3 cases of that. There is this boy who went to sleep in his bed, and he woke up and his bed was out in the middle of the ocean floating around, and I forget how exactly he got back. I think he went back to sleep. There is the story of a bunch of World War I soldiers finding this hill with a door in it, and they opened it up, and this pterodactyl came out and attacked them, and they went to their general, and when they returned to the hill, there was only pterodactyl fossils laying there. There was this book called the Book of Alexandria, and it was this fairy tale, and people would read from it, and it would seem like a normal story with a princess, a knight, and a dragon. But if you read it again, it would change slightly. The princess might become a villain. There might be an evil wizard in there. And then sometimes it would change just completely. They'd all become pirates, or there'd be a noir story. Although, to be fair, most of the time it would just be tiny little differences in illustration and things. A harmless story. We actually have it at the Fireside Tales. Maybe one day I'll show it to you. But there's so many cases like this that I haven't been able to share with you all. And I'm sorry, it's just that there's just so much to cover. But maybe we'll do some more later on. But those are the secret files of the Fireside Tales, and if you could do me a favor, don't tell anybody.